The next several lessons will all be applications of linear functions. So skip around as needed to any of these applications, but these will all be modeling different applications with a linear function and then solving that function. The first one has to do with geometry. And so if we have a rug that is currently 4 by 5, and we've decided that we're going to add a border to the outside because we're super crafty. And we know that that border is going to be X width, which means from here to here is X, from here to here is X, and it's X really all the way around. We also know that now that we're adding that extra, that the perimeter of the rug increases to 26 feet. So it's important that when they say a word like perimeter, that we know that the formula for perimeter is 2 times length plus 2 times width. So right now, before I add the X, my length would be 5, my width would be 4. Now let's look at the new length. So my length that was 5 is now X and 5 and X. So my new length would be 5 plus 2X and X on each end. My new width would be 4, again, plus 2X. So now I'm just going to use this formula and plug in what I know. I know that the perimeter is 26 feet. I know that my length is 5 plus 2X. And I know that my width is 4 plus 2X. Oops. And now I'm going to simplify on the right side to get 10 plus 4X plus 8 plus 4X. I would combine like terms on the right side, which gives me 18 plus 8X. I would subtract that 18 from each side, which gives me 8. Oops. How did that happen? This is supposed to be 18 plus 8x, which of course would leave me with 8x on the right side. And then of course dividing by 8, I would get 1 equals x. So the width of the border would be 1 foot. So 1 foot on each part. That's kind of a big rug. Here's another geometry application. We have 2 angles that are complementary. The word complementary means that they add to 90. And of course the other one is supplementary. Supplementary means they add to 180. So in this case, I know that both angles were add to 90. One angle measures 10 less than 4 times the other. So if one angle is x, then the other is 10 less than 4 times that. So 4 times that would be 4x, 10 less than that would be minus 10. This is my second angle. I find that it's helpful to do this part. This is called assigning your variables. The reason that this is important is because quite often I will have students who will write it as 4x minus 10 equals 90. Which means that one angle is 90 and we've totally forgotten about the other angle. So don't forget that the first angle is x because I said so. Basically, I just made up the variable and said, let's pretend that x is our first angle. The second one in relationship to the first is times 4 and minus 10. So when I add those two together, they add to 90 degrees. Then of course, this is a nice equation that I can solve. So I can solve this without doing any guess and check, and find that x is 20. The question says find the measure of each angle. So I could say, because I know they add to 90, that one angle is 20 degrees and the other angle is obviously 70, but because I'm a math teacher and I like to, double check my math, I'm going to go ahead and take that 20 and plug it back in and make sure that it does actually work out to 70. Whoops. So 4 times 20 is 80. And then of course minus 10 is 70. Whenever you're dealing with a story problem like this, you should always end with a sentence. So I'll write the sentence. The 2 angles are 70 degrees and 20 degrees. Here are 2 applications for you to try on your own. So press pause, do both questions, then press play to check your work. For the first, I have the measures of the angles in a triangle are 180. Hopefully we already knew that. Find the value of x in this triangle. So this angle is 90 degrees. This angle is of course x, and my other angle is 2x. Those all add up to 180 degrees. I will simplify the left side and subtract 90 from each side and divide by 3. Remember that the question asks for the value of x. In this case, it doesn't ask for the measure of each angle. And so in this case, I would just say the value of x is 30. For the sake of time and space, I'm not going to write the sentence. Be careful for what they ask for. If they said find the two missing measures, I would then plug the 30 back in to find that the measures were 30 degrees and 60 degrees. The other question deals with supplementary angles, which we talked about, adding to 180 as well. The one angle measures 16 less than 3 times the other, so we're going to call x the first angle, and the second angle would be 16 less than 3 times the other. So 3 times the other and 16 less would be my second. Together, x and 3x minus 16, so angle 1 and angle 2, add to 180. And then we're just doing the math to isolate x. And we find that x is 49. Now in this case it says find the measure of each angle. So the first angle is 49, the second angle is 3 times 49 minus 16, which is 131. And again, double check together, those do add up to 180. And then I would write a sentence that says that the measure of the two angles are 49 degrees and 131 degrees.